John Hart, legend of the UK lettings industry, countrywide boss.
Brad Pitt lookalike.
Well, you
It
might
has
think
been
that.
said.
Yeah, not by me. Tell me why you've got involved with OpenBrix.
Right. Having known Adam for a few years, he convinced me to look into it more deeply. And at first, I wasn't quite sure. But actually, it's a fantastic vehicle. It does many things. It's built on very smart technology. It has lots of offerings. The one thing it does is it's a decentralized business.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the B word then.
I nearly said it.
No.
So it's decentralized. So it means that currently, if it works it will work as a portal. But if it's a portal, then you will currently you post up to Rightmove or Zoopla, whoever you post to, it's their data. On this OpenBrix, it belongs to you and it remains your data. If you have a Gmail email address or on Facebook, it's their data, and it's causing more and more problems now for people that it's their data and not yours.
But
and another side to it is the tenant side, and where I see the rental market is changing dramatically. It needs to be regulated much more. It's being regulated gradually, but we need to support tenants, and tenants referencing is a big thing. It's a big cost, and tenant passports are coming through now, but the backbone of that should be a decentralized technology, which OpenBrix will allow every tenant to have their own personal ID. It can be linked to accounting systems and record rent payments, which can then be used in credit scoring.
Because I've told that Experian are happy to.
Experian will be happy to use this, yes. And many of the build to rent, a number of the build to rent companies are very interested in this. We've spoken to a number of student unions, and they are very interested in this, because to have your own data, an immutable record that cannot be changed, a true record that you can use, should be the backbone of any passport for the future.
Do you think we as an industry, as a lettings industry, are too focused on the needs of landlords and not the tenants, as we say?
Yeah, I agree. And that a long time ago, a very long time ago, an old boss said to me, all tenants are weeds. But they're not, they're customers. The landlords are clients and the tenants are customers. And actually the reason Countrywide was so successful is we treated them like customers. If you give them a good service, they'll come back and they'll probably buy a house or whatever. So tenants don't always get a good deal. I'm behind. I was one of the founders of the tenancy deposit scheme, and when the government introduced it, it failed. And when I was on the ALA board, I sat around the table and said, we can't let this fail. Of all things, we can't do this. So we, Countrywide, backed it financially. We used my offices to create the tenancy deposit scheme. So I'm a firm believer of getting it right for the tenant. So the regulation coming through, the training for people is in.
But what's in it for the agent?
Well,
because we are landlord centric, especially now we've got no tenant fees. Should we really care about tenants?
Yeah, absolutely, because you want the best tenants. You want the best tenants to come to you. And what I used to say to our staff many years ago is, if we're not managing that property for the landlord, why would the tenant want to rent that property? Because who knows what's going to happen? You move in and the next day, well, it's not, the agent can't do anything. So agents should always be managing agents. It forms a bridge, but they should treat tenants like customers, as customers. They pay the rent, and without them, and you want the best tenants to come to you and not the worst.
So it's not just a portal, because let's be frank, if you don't mind me saying, up until this point, the marketing has been a little hit and miss. And I'm going to say it. Am I allowed to say the B word?
You can.
Blockchain. I mean, God's sake, I have noticed that the marketing is changing. That they've turned it less from what it is to what it does for agents and the people involved. Because I think a lot of prop tech can get sucked into that, can't they?
It can. And it's much clearer on its views and where it's going. OpenBrix, and it offers a lot to a lot of people. So it would have a price cap for agents when they use this, and eventually you'd hope no cost, apart from a very minimal cost. But for tenants, it will be a great thing.
Okay, but then the suspicion is that if it is a low cost, what's in it for the people building it?
What's in it for the people building? Well, there can be advertising revenues. There can be other things that can be introduced.
Because that's, when something's too good to be true, it is normally too good to be true.
Well, when you meet some of them, you'll understand that Shahad, who is the innovator here, is about doing the right thing in the community. Actually, he's very much that person. But there has to be a money element to it, of course, and there will be, but it's not significant. It doesn't have to be significant.
But we're talking with estate agents here that are going to be very suspicious of all this.
But they'll all be, if they join, they will all be part owners of it. They'll all have a share in it, as such.
I mean, if only there was a portal where basically agents came together and owned part of it, that would be a wonderful idea. We could probably call it Off the Market.
We could probably do that. However, this is on a different basis. It's set up on a very different basis, so that there'll be a control, and they have voting rights in it, the agents. And that will keep it in a different position. It's not being built for that being a financial gain. It's being built for that as to create.
And do you honestly? I mean, you've not joined it for finance. I know you're obviously being paid as a consultant, but you genuinely believe it is a game changer.
I do. I absolutely do. You can see that. I mean, lots of things take a while to get traction, and we've actually slowed down the pace that we're going to get things right behind the scenes, and I think that's absolutely critical to it. But it offers so many more things. I mean, the portal is one thing, but what it can do for tenants and the market is another thing entirely. And I think that was talked about, but not the big showpiece. But I think that's as important, if not more. And that in itself will encourage a lot more people to use the site and actually grow the site, the portal.
But here's a final thought. Surely OpenBrix should be attracting landlords, so landlords insist to their agents that they use OpenBrix.
Yes, they should, and that will happen, I'm sure.
Because that is it. Instead of knocking up, it's obvious to knock at the door of agents, but in fact, if you do like a pincer movement and go for the landlords.
Having spoken to some corporate landlords, they are very, very interested in the concept and want to take it further with us. So, landlords, it'll be great for them. It can provide long-term a database, if you like, for tenants and to move around and gain their passport credentials, if you like, and enable them to move amongst quality developments. It
might even help with that thing that the government's talking about, where a movable deposit.
It will help with all those things. That's what I see in it, lots of that, because my background is the rental market, so I see lots of that in it. But it will also be a fantastic portal. But for me, the tenant benefits and the landlord benefits are extreme.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.